Okay guys, on number 1, it's asking us to find the perimeter and the area of the rectangle. Perimeter means you are going to add up all 4 sides. It's the distance around an object. So we have to add up 7.2 plus 4.3 plus another 7.2 plus another 4.3. Or you could take 7.2 times 2 because you have 2 of the same sides, and 4.3 times 2 because you have the 2 of the same sides, and then add those 2 answers together. It does not matter. Two plus 3 is 5, plus 2 is 7, plus 3 is 10, carry our 1. 7 plus 7 is 14, plus 1 is 15, plus 4 is 19, plus another 4 is 23. Drop our decimal straight down, so the perimeter of the rectangle is 23 meters. Now the area of a rectangle, we just take the length times the width, so 7.2 times 4.3. 3 times 2 is 6, 3 times 7 is 21. Okay, now we're ready to multiply the 4 through, but we have to put a 0 for a placeholder. 4 times 2 is 8, 4 times 7 is 28. Add it up. Okay, then we have to place our decimal point. There's one number past this decimal. There's one number to the right of that decimal for a total of 2 places we have to move it over. So we get 30.96 meters squared for our area. Okay, number 2 says the temperature in San Diego was 85.42 degrees on Monday. On the same day, the temperature in Seattle was 78.973 degrees. How much greater was the temperature in San Diego? How much greater means we're going to subtract. So I'm going to take 85.42 minus 78.973. We have to make sure we line up our decimal points when we're subtracting. So that means I have nothing above the 3. So I'm going to put 0 there for a placeholder so that I can see that I cannot take 3 from 0. So I'm going to borrow. So 10 minus 3 is 7. And now I can't take 1 minus 7, so I'm going to borrow. 11 minus 7 is 4. Now I can't take 3 minus 9, so I will borrow. 13 minus 9 is 4. Now I can't take 4 minus 8, so I'll borrow again. And 14 minus 8 is 6. So I get 6.447 degrees greater. Number 3, find 0.78 divided by 1.2. Okay, the first number is our dividend. It always goes inside the box. Okay, we learned we can't have a decimal in our divisor, so we move it to the right to make it a whole number. So 1.2 becomes 12. If I move it 1 time in my divisor, I also have to move it 1 time in my dividend. So I put it straight up. 12 will not go into 0, and it will not go into 7. So I have to take 12 into 78. I'm going to try 6 times. Get 72. So that 6 goes directly above the 8. 6 times 12 is 72. Subtract, we get 6. We can't stop until we have 0 left. So I'm going to add a 0 to the dividend and bring it down. 12 goes into 60 5 times. 5 times 12 is 60. So we get 0.65 or 65 hundredths. Number 4, 1 serving of chips is 98.45 calories. How many calories would be in 3.5 servings? So if this is how many are in 1 serving, we would multiply that by 3.5 to figure out how many total calories in 3.5 servings. Remember, we do not line up our decimal points. When we multiply, we put the longer number on top and shift the bottom number over to far to the right as possible. 5 times 5 is 25, carry our 2. 5 times 4 is 20, plus 2 is 22, carry our 2. 5 times 8 is 40, plus 2 is 42, carry our 4. 5 times 9 is 45, plus 4 is 49. Go back and mark those off so I don't use them again. And my next row, I'm going to multiply the 3 through, but I have to put a 0 for a placeholder first. 3 times 5 is 15, carry my 1. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 1 is 13, carry my 1. 3 times 8 is 24, plus 1 is 25, carry my 2. 3 times 9 is 27, plus 2 is 29. Now I can add it up. 5 plus 0 is 5, 2 plus 5 is 7, 2 plus 3 is 5, 9 plus 5 is 14, carry my 1, 4 plus 1 is 5, and 5 plus 9 is 14, carry my 1, and 2 plus 1 is 3. Now we have to figure out where we're going to place our decimal point. So I look at this number. I have 2 numbers to the right of my decimal here. I have 1 number to the right of my decimal here. That's a total of 3. So I move it over 1, 2, 3 times. So there would be 344.575 calories in 3.5 servings. The last one says a 20-foot long fence needs to have a nail every 4/10 or 40 feet. How many total nails would there be in the fence? Okay, so this is how long our whole fence is. We're dividing that up every 4/10 of a foot to figure out how many nails we would need. So this is what's being divided up. That's our whole. So it's 20 divided by 0.40. Okay, again, we can't have a decimal in our divisor, so we move it to the end. So I moved it 2 times. That means I have to move it 2 times here, but there is no decimal here. We know, though, that if there's no decimal shown, it's like an invisible decimal is right here. So there it is. I'm going to add 2 zeros so I can move it 2 times to the right because I moved it 2 times here. Put it straight up. And now 40 will not go into 2. It will not go into 20, so I have to take 40 into 200. And I know 40 goes into 200 5 times because 5 times 40 is 200. Okay, subtract, I get 0, but I still have a 0 here, and now 40 goes into 0 0 times. So we would need a total of 50 nails in that fence. Okay, if you want some extra practice, you can log into iExcel and do any of the G or H skills for extra practice for your quiz. Thanks.